You- Hello, Land Shark. How are you, brother? Long time. Oh, where have you been for the last like 2 or 3 streams? I've been streaming consistently, making that moolah. Yeah, so it was a great run. Like I've been streaming for like this is fourth or fifth stream, and all of them streams were perfect. About on average about 120 points per stream. About on average for the viewers. For me personally, I've been like, it's a lot of points, too much. Okay, 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 okay. 15. Let's see what's going on the Nasdaq. Nasdaq. Okay. Thales, if you're watching this, you remember this level I gave yesterday? And I closed the stream somewhere around here, and I was expecting it to move up with the low volatility, so it gave me around 40 more points, 50, 40 more points, and in total 96 points. And first trade was about 200, so I closed the day basically in the after hours about 300 points on the day, and the same level. Watch how the price reacted to the same level again. Like today, if you executed it on this, congrats, bro. The same level. And this was the previous level. This is what I've drawn now. So if generally speaking, it's in a contradiction with the higher time frame. So if the price moves up and above this points and stays for some point, I'll tell how much duration I want it to stay above this point. Then I'm interested in longs and I'll use this as a floor. Okay. Okay, on a 1 minute time frame, I am lot of points. Oh, really? 500 points this week. Really nice. Nice, bro. That's really good progress. Glad because I don't see a lot of streamers using like taking a lot of points, holding trades. So it's good when I see someone with the same amount of points because this is not really normal, right? Okay. So this was imbalanced. This was imbalanced. Landshark, there's a very good strategy, basic, very simple strategy. I explained it in my like 2 or 3 past streams. So if you are interested, you should watch that. Definitely watch that. I am using those confirmation, validation, invalidation criteria for my entry levels, and it's been working like pretty good, specifically in these like slow sessions in the summers basically. Okay. So if you look at it from the 15 minutes time frame, we got a validation above this point. We got a closing, basically what I would consider as a validation point. 15 minutes valid. As for now, the whole market is in contradiction with each other, the higher with the lower time frame. So if the market moves up and above this point, I'm a buyer. Then I'll be looking to target somewhere up. Okay, 15 means M means mints and V means valid, and we have gotten the validation on the 15 minutes time frame. Then I'll move to the 5 minutes time frame, to the 5 minutes. Also got the validation on the 5 minutes, and the 1 minute trend is intact. So it's all green, green, green signals. We do not we do not have an inefficiencies towards the downside, which gives me a lot of confidence that if we starts to move back up, I can squeeze some, like, more points out of this without worrying about it being like a larger retracement. 15 minutes, 14:33. The new hour opened, new hour on the RTH. Yep. Market, the middle line. Okay, we have this point. First, it needs to move above that point. I am going to show what I'm talking about. This 2355 level, it needs to move above that point. Then I'll be using that as floor potentially. But I do not want an inefficiencies towards the downside, which is leaving right now. That was the inefficiencies, cleared it out. The hourly, we have 24 minutes till the hourly close. If we close above this point, that will be really good. Within next 24 minutes, I'm repeating this again. If we move, oh God, I do not want this inefficiencies left, because whenever there is an inefficiency like this, the price will refer back to this point at some point in future, which means that's all like the setup is valid for scalps only. Here we go. Nice. Okay. That's really, really good. I believe, or that this position will be challenged at some point in future. But still, if we this can be used as a hard floor, but I need a retest or a confirmation. This specific level can yield about, at minimum, just to be conservative, at minimum 60 points. Minimum. But there's a problem. I think that this will be challenged at some point, so we'll see. It left an inefficiencies toward the upside, which is a good thing. 37 in the 5 minutes. 2 minutes till the 5 minutes close. 5 minutes will give another validation within the next 2 minutes. It's a good thing. See what's going on the 1 minute. This is not the ideal price action. Yep. How many points? Basically. So it puts me in this sort of a decision-making process that either I can front run it, ignoring this inefficiency, because if I leave this, because this is only a single candle, the 31st, 31st, 32nd, 1432 candle, 1431, 1430. The 1 minute is still intact towards the upside. The 1 minute is intact. The least being very, very conservative, you can squeeze about at minimum 59. Fourteen 40. No, no, land shark. I'm just talking to myself because I I rarely pay attention to the chat because I'm just sharing my thought process. So I'm just talking to myself and letting my thoughts out there. So I'll answer your questions, or I'll chat. Just minute. I'm doing something, brother. So the validation is land shark. In short, the validation is the closing above the wick. In basically in a short term. So I'm using the 1 minute, the 5 minutes, the 15 minutes. So the minor trend would be the 1 minute, the 5 minutes would be the medium, and the 15 minutes would be the higher on the in terms of basic building blocks of the hourly time frame. If that makes sense. Basically, what I mean is if this 1 minute candle closes below the previous wick low, then that would be considered as an invalidation criteria or a minor trend change. So you see from this point onwards, close above the wick, close above the wick, close above the wick. Never give a direct closing. Direct means it closing at the lows. If it closes below the lows, at its lows, below that previous candle wick, would be the invalidation criteria on the 1 minute. And now that it has wicked at this point, so the next bar is allowed to move this at this point, but not close below. Okay, so I'm using this time as a certain time period as the market is allowed to move below a certain level but not close. So the higher the time frame, the lower the fake outs. The 15 minutes rarely gives a fake out. The 1 minute gives more fake outs, but the risk is really low. So I can take, like, even for example, if my risk to reward is extremely good and win rate can be really low, but that would, like, even if I lose 5 trades then I win 1 trade, that would exceed all of that. Okay, so how many points is still 23 points running, 23 points. So we have this inefficiency. The first one would be this point. The first point would be this. And that was already tagged. So let's just rely on the 1 minute being conservative. The moment, uh, what I mean by the being conservative, if the 1 minute closes or the minor trend change would make me doubtful of the trend. But still, whenever I'm using this price point, I'm also telling its relevance that this can be used as a floor for a higher time frame. So when I say the floor or relevancy, I means ke I am personally I'm expecting, to be honest, I'm expecting about 100 points. I know it's much, but for the chat or for the people who are watching, I don't know if anyone's watching or not. I have 50 points. Okay, so because we are in a contradiction with other trends, so this price point we have to really fight for. From 378 to 400. From 378 to 400 can be a big problem. 378 to a 400. 400, 378 to 400, we can fight, but I'm willing to fight because my stop loss is at break even. So it's front running, hoping that we can fight our way upwards. 26 point running. Still, the 1 minute is still intact. When I say the 1 minute is intact, I means there isn't a closing below the previous week low. If even if it gives me a closing below, uh, for example, we have 40 seconds left till this candle close. Okay, so if it closes below the previous wick low, then that would either it can be a fake out because it's a 1 minute, but it can be considered as what, as a minor trend shift. Then I'll look on a 5 minutes. Then I'll look on a 5 minutes that whether it exceeds to the 5 minutes or not. If it exceeds to the 5 minutes, it's not looking very good. Okay. You see what I mean? But 378, this can be, now watch what I'm talking about. Okay. We have 3 minutes till the 5 minutes close. So the 5 minutes is allowed to move below this point, but not close below. Meanwhile, if me being optimistic, I can see the 1 minute, I can expect the 1 minute to be a fake out because the price point we are at right now is strong. So we can expect a chop between two, hoping that we can move up and above this point. The 1 minute, I need of the next 1 minute to move above for this to cancel out. 39 seconds for this to get cancel out. I need another 34 seconds above this wick high. Fight, baby, fight. 5 minutes. The next validation on the 5 minutes for it to use it as a staircase. Okay, this is the 5 minutes validation M. 5 minutes V minutes validation means okay. So I need 1.5 minutes above this. The next 5 minutes is about to close in 1.5 minutes. I need it to close above that point, the previous this high. Ideally speaking, the only and only problem is this point. You see this line, specific line. Okay, this line tells me that the market will refer back to this point at some point in future. I don't know when. Okay, got another closing, but this is still considered a relative close. It's around a 1 minute time frame, but still can it's a minor trend shift. We have a lot of problem above this point. So this is what I mean. We can expect a fight between this point and that point. Okay, 5 minutes, 5 minutes close. This is the new 5 minutes candle. It's allowed to move below this point, but not close. If we close below that point, then we will have a contradiction between the three. Okay, we already have a validation, two validations. Let's remove this point for now. No, God, God. Okay, let's also move it closer. Wait, the 1 minute is in a contradiction. The 5 minutes is up. 15 minutes is up. It's leaving an inefficiency and cleared out. The only problem that I see is around 332 level. 332 level is there's an inefficiency towards this side, which tells me that It's going to revert back to this point at some point in future. So the 1 minute is intact towards the downside. If it exceeds to the 5 minutes, then but still we have 3 minutes till the 5 minutes close. It's allowed to move below this point but not close. Okay, so the position is being challenged. It's imbalance towards the upside. Imbalance towards the upside tells me that's going to move back up. Yep. But is it going to be this candle? I don't know. Is it going to be the next? I don't know. But as I'm making a bias for myself that if it uses this as floor, it also gives me a confidence that we have an inefficiency toward the upside. So 376, 376, 376, 378. This whole box is a problem. All of this area is a, generally speaking, not good. Okay, so it cleared that out. The 1 minute is getting a confirmation again. We got a confirmation on 1 minute. The 1 minute got intact again. Okay, the 5 minutes. 5 minutes is good. 15 minutes is also good. Okay, 5 minutes till the next 15 minutes close. Ideally speaking, if it closes above this point, then speed, obviously, as you can see. Okay, it's a relative close, not the ideal case. This can turn into a range or choppy price action. 46 seconds. Five. This is the new 5 minutes candle. Keep this in mind. This is the new 5 minutes candle, so the volatility is expected. So 14 seconds, it's not allowed to close below this point. If it does, then it's an early indication of a range. Still a relative close. Relative closes means there can be a difference of a data feed differences may occur. So still on a 1 minute, #22 if it gives me a closing, another closing above this point, then It's following what I am. It's aligned with my logic. Okay. Give me a surprise bar. This is what a surprise bar is. Basically a boner candle. So we got a closing. The ideal case would be for the 15 this is what is the 15 minutes. So I've written 5. Okay, let's just s- look at it from a statistical point of view. If the 5 minutes closes above this point, we get another 15 minutes plus the 15 minutes and 5 minutes validation. Both would be considered at this point. But you have to keep this in mind. This whole area is a problem. So I'm willing to fight it. Fight for my rights. We have 3 minutes till the hourly candle close. 5 minutes. Let's just mark it for the sake of it, bro. Oh, no. 1.5 minutes is coming. Motherfucker is coming back. 5 minutes validation. 5 minutes validation. 15 minutes validation. Okay. This should be given much more respect than the 5. I want surprises. I want surprises, Nasdaq. Surprise bar. Last 20 seconds till the hourly candle close. I can expect some volatility. If we get a closing above this point, that would be a good validation. That would be a really good validation. Nice. Left an inefficiency toward the upside. Also validated. 15. Okay. Left an inefficiency toward the upside. God, God. And cleared that out. Life could be a dream. You see, the upper part is a bitch. Uh, oh, minor trend break on the 1 minute. Still a relative. Let's just hope. Because we get a lot of fake outs on the 1 minute, we got a new validation on the 15 minutes and the 5 minutes. Plus, my stop loss is at break even. Gave me 2 times the entry. So, what can I say? The new hourly obviously is gonna expand itself, right? got a validation on the 5 minutes. This is a 5 minutes time frame. And on the 15 minutes time frame, let's see where we are on the cues. We are back to the opening where we closed yesterday. So it's a key level. Plus, we are fighting for our life. Bulls are fighting for they have a lot to fight for, right? We from 76 to basically 400, yeah. I think we are going to get challenged. Yep, probably. Probably. Yeah, minor trend break. Left and inefficiencies toward the downside. So, you know what would be the ideal case for it to at least retest this? I do not want this, but that would be make me more stress free. Then if it comes up, then I can think of it that it's allowed to move up about the points I'm expecting it to move. Because if there's an inefficiency, it's generally speaking not allowed to move that higher or further from it. Clear this like inefficiency out. If it leaves this inefficiency, what this means is a chop still. हाँ सो क्या कह रहे हैं बोल 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 हैं यार मेरी बात सुन अभी मैं वो स्ट्रीम कर रहा हूँ तो फिर तेरे से कोई 1 घंटे तक बात करता हूँ यार आई एम इन द मिडल ऑफ समथिंग ब्रो बहुत 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 हाँ मैं मुझे पता है अच्छा मेरी बात सुन मुझे ना 20 मिनट्स दे सिर्फ 20 मिनट्स ओके चल ठीक है ओके 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 so the position is being challenged. This is the new 5 minutes candle. We have 3 minutes till the 5 minutes close. This would be the 5 minutes invalidation criteria. Ha ha ha. Within the next 20 seconds, I want this is what I want. I don't know if it's gonna give me or not. If it gives me a closing above this point, then we are ready to go again, and all of this would be the new hourly volatility. Uh, if not, the 1 minute is intact towards the downside, and we are still being challenged. Okay, we'll wait. Give me a surprise. Till the 1 minute is intact. I want a direct closing, so that would be really nice. We have about 4 seconds till the 1 minute close. Now, think we might challenge the bulls again. The 5 minutes is still up. You have to keep this in mind. It needs to directly close below at the lows, if it's on low, below this wick low. Then the 1 minute and the 5 minutes would be aligned. 12 seconds till the 1 minute close. The red line represents the 5 minutes invalidation criteria. It's a choppy market to this point. We have a lot to fight for within this 20 points range. That's the lot of it. So if we move up and above this point, then you can just ignore that. But until then, that's the main thing. But we have a lot of defense from this point onwards, above this point. Give a loss of two entry criterias, and even the moment the stream started, I told everyone, KR, if we move up and above, we are going to use this as a floor, a solid floor for the higher time frame. So whenever I refer to the higher time frame, I was referring to something basically in terms of pips or points or ranges. A high time frame, basically what I means is about 120 points or 80 points for you to understand. So the 1 minute got intact again. Okay, if we close directly closing below this point, then it's an early indication of a range. It makes sure that it closes above the previous candle high, closes below the previous candle low, closes above the previous candle high. If it do this one or two times, it's an indication of a range. Okay, so this is, we got validated on the 1 minute. Now we are aligned with the 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and the 1 minute. Okay, still 26 points with reference to what? 5 points, 4 points risk. It's about 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio. Still, I want to run it. And there is another problem. We are at the closing where we closed on the Qs yesterday, right this point. Okay, it's a natural point of resistance. Okay, so there's another thing which is you see this point 331. 331 is the only thing that's bothering me with this the whole trend, because it's imbalance. So whenever something is imbalanced, the price refers to that point at some point in future. So whenever something like it leaves these inefficiencies, it refers back to this. So how can I think about it? I can think about it in terms of that no fuckery, or I cannot expect large profits, because because it's going to it's not allowed to move that far higher. When it's all balanced, then it's about to then it's allowed to. So if we closes at this 40, you see this previous candle low, this is an indication of a range. It started from this point, it closed, made sure it closed above, closed below, closed below, closed above, then all of this happened. So whenever the 1 minute will make an effort now to move up higher, I'll be optimistic. Okay, why will I be optimistic? Because I it's ranging until it's not. So whenever the 1 minute will be aligned with my bias, I look at it through the frame of that it's moving up. You understand? So is 315, and majority of the people are expecting a move. So whenever you expect a move, it's not gonna happen. It will probably happen in the after hours. So these are the key levels. You have to keep this in mind. Tails, I don't know if you're here. Whoa, a lot of people watching. Oh, 25 views, 3 views. Okay. I thought 25 concurrent views. Okay, Tails. But would you consider this is a no trade range? Good to see you. Following. Land shark. Okay, 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 okay. Sure, not really. Tails, okay. Now this is a no trading range, but it's above the floor, right? So my stop loss is right at this point. I entered at somewhere around here. My with a risk of about 5 or 4 points, it moved up. More like this stop loss is somewhere around here. It closed like tick close to wo- my stop loss. It moved up. So as it's above this point, for me, it's much better to just leave it and not rush the 1 minute. Okay, because the 5 minutes is still intact. Okay, the reward is much more greater. Okay, if I leave the trade. So what would be my risk? My risk would be the open profit I have. So the 5 minutes is giving another indication. It's still relative close, but I'll be optimistic. The 1 minute is making an effort towards the downside. Let's see if it's exceed or not. If it does exceed, good. Then we will see what happened yesterday all over again. Probably. We need this area to clear out for me to be completely stress free. Okay. So the land chart, this area is not just like if the price comes here, I'll buy it. I'll use validation or invalidation criterias as I'll see on the 1 minute on a very smaller time frame. Because if I wait for the 15 minutes, the range would be the ATR would expand according to the 15 minutes time frame. And on a 15 minutes time frame, the ATR is what? About 30 minutes, right? 30 points per candle on average, generally speaking, right? So, do I want a trade of a 30-point stop loss? No, I cannot. I cannot basically put a huge lot like that, huh? Because I'm expecting my profits to be around 90 points. So, if my stop loss is around 30 points and I'm expecting somewhere around 30 or 90 points, so it's like 1 to 3 on a very good case scenario, right? So I'll use the validation criteria at the area of interest. Okay, guys, if you can wait, but I have to go. I'll be back in about 10 or 20 minutes. Ah, okay. So you understand, right? That how can we expect an initially a range that if we get a closing directly closing below, directly closing above, then that's an early indication of a ranging conditions. So plus that was the ceiling. This is the floor. So we are fighting for it last 30 minutes to 15 minutes candle. It's left an inefficiency. It's a good base. This one is inefficient still. Nice. Nice. There we go. But but this is inefficient. Let's mark this. These 21 points will be a complete headache. So my job is not to get frustrated even if it comes back from this point. The 1 minute is intact. The 5 minutes, we got another validation on the 5 minutes. We never got invalid on the 5 minutes chart. Have to keep this in mind. Green. 5 minutes valid. Okay. 15. 9 minutes till the 15 minutes close. 15 and 5 both will get valid above this level. We have 10 minutes till the 15 minutes close. Okay. Whole job, complete job is not to get frustrated, even if it can see in every. I'm just taking a statistical approach drawing this whole box, but there are specific levels from which the price is fighting from. Okay, this is what I mean. I'll not get frustrated, right? So this one is imbalanced. Now, what's happening is it's a choppy range, but on a higher time. It's from the range basically start. I'm just giving it all. If you can understand, you'll understand a lot of things. Because what was the worst thing for me when I was initially, it took me a long time to understand. It's not that hard, but it's hard to grasp this concept. Okay, what will happen, the range will initiate from a smaller time frame, then it's gonna move to the higher time frame range. Then it's gonna make sure that it closes above some 15 minutes high, then 15 minutes low. So those are the areas which should be avoided. Came back, cleared this out. We do not have an inefficiency toward the downside. The longer we stay above, like at this choppy range, the higher the probability that we are going to challenge the lows, the higher the probability. Does it mean that I'm going to do something about it? No. I'll just act on what I see, not what I think. Six minutes till the 15 minutes close. This is the new 5 minutes candle. 5 minutes, we got the validation on the 5 minutes. The 5 minutes, you see how the 5 minutes range is expanded to 30 points. Hourly time frame. Ah, have to keep this in mind. We got the hourly validation, so 5 minutes is closing above this point. If we get a 15 minutes closing above this point, that's really good. Cleared out that liquidity. The single candle, it's not, it can be weightless, like for, let's just be optimistic. Okay. One minute is still messing around. Closed below the low, closed above the high. So 4 minutes till the 15 minutes close. this behavior from the 1 minute is still what is still a ranging condition, but as it's, for example, it's closed below, then I'll say, okay, it's not aligned with my narrative. Okay, so then I can expect a chop. Okay, if it closes above this point, then I can be hopeful because I'm not acting on this information as for now. I'm already in this trade. I'm not going to act on this information based on the 1 minute time frame because the 5 minutes is intact and the 15 minutes is intact. So the best way for me to think about this is either a range or we are going to challenge this position at some point in future. Okay, most probably at the close we'll challenge my position. It's going to challenge my position. Then if it comes up even if after the market closes, then I'll do something about it with a good validation even on 1 minute. Okay, if we get a closing on the 5 minutes low, so you can see the same behavior what's happening on the 1 minute, closed above the closed above the high, closed below the low. So an expanded range, the range initiated from the 1 minute extended itself to the 5 minutes. Last minute till the 5 minutes close. See how symmetry is broken on a 1 minute from this point onwards. As it moved up, closed below, closed above the high, I told KR it's a very early indication of a chop or a range. Okay, so this is basically the time where the market usually ranges. So, but we'll get a move. Okay, now that it's going in my favor, I should be optimistic. Okay, I hope you understand the thought process. It does not mean but it does not really matter what I want, what I do not want. Okay, so because I'm not acting on the information as for now, because it's a broken symmetry, all the things I know is this is the ceiling, this is a floor. Okay, and it's not a trending market. This is the new 15 minutes, last 15 minutes of the day. Now this 15 minutes candle is allowed to move below this point, not close. That would be the ideal point, ideal case scenario. 13, watch this, any of this. 15 minutes IV, 15 minutes invalid. Okay. Probably see some action on the close. Being optimistic always pays, but uh, not over optimism, or stupidity never pays. FOMO never pays, but being optimistic pays. For example, if it starts to move back down again as it did yesterday, um, I was still optimistic that okay, it will come back around, and it did. So, if you want to know what I'm talking about, watch the last part of the stream. And if you watch yesterday's stream, you'll understand the complete logic. The whole time I was like this, the whole time the market was moving up, giving me all sorts of green signals, but I was not willing to take a trade because of because of a reason, right? And I said, okay, for example, the market was at this point, like I, my criteria was the market needs to, it was here, for example, you will understand the yesterday's stream. It needs to move below this point, then believe when it starts to move back up again. And it started to move back down at the close, and we also got the up move. So the whole stream was very really perfect. It left an inefficiency. Okay, so the last minute till the market on close, we can expect some volatility. I might get stopped out, but I'll still take a trade. The really relatively low risk to reward ratio from this point with the validation. My position is being challenged. 5 minutes, 20 seconds till the 5 minutes close. I would appreciate if you like the stream. Uh, it's only one like. There we go. Expected volatility. Being optimistic pays. Do not leave an inefficiency. And it's I don't really believe it still. It needs to move back up. Any above this point, then I'll believe it much more because the first 5 minutes move in some direction. It's a normal behavior at market on close. The first 5 minutes move in some direction and the last 5 minutes move the other. So spike up would be really nice. 417 is not a bad target generally. That would be 50 points, but still not believable. This exact 50% is a main problem. 5 minutes, 2 minutes till the 5 minutes close. 5 minutes would be valid. We never got invalidated on the 5 minutes. You can talk about this being invalidation, but no, it's not. It's still relatively close relative to the 5 minutes ATR. If something is perfect, you don't want anything really perfect. Okay. If you trade long enough, you'll understand what I'm talking about. If something is perfect, everyone will do it. So when I say a relative close, it's imperfect, but it's perfect in its imperfections, if that makes sense. Don't want something really obvious. Okay. Left an inefficiency. We probably come back. I do not believe it. This is what I'm referring to as inefficient 386. You need to clear this out, buddy. 5 minutes is about to close. That's a very good thing. We have gotten the validation on the 5 minutes. Okay, this is what where we got validated on the 5 minutes. Let's remove this. Now this specific breakout which I removed, I will believe this breakout. Generally speaking, if it clears this liquidity out. So anyways, I'm still running, so not a problem for me, but it can exceed my expectations when it complete this inefficiency. This is what I mean by it. For 417 is not a bad target. Nice. 3 seconds. The new candle should not close below this low. How many points is 13 points? – 26 seconds. Within 26 seconds, if you are able to, then go ahead. Otherwise, please don't close below this low. The next candle should do the job because you have a lot of time in your hands. Come on. Last 3 minutes. Last 2 minutes. See how the price is stuck, but still fighting, right? Nice. 417 is not a bad thing. So if it clears this liquidity out, okay, last minute. If it clears this liquidity out, then it can exceed my expectations and not close. That's the main part. Not close below this level. Then the minor trend would be broken. Twenty-six, 24, 23. Now we want an inefficiency toward the upside. That's nice. 13. Last 10 minutes, 10 seconds, 5 seconds. This would still be considered as a relative close. Nice. Please exceed my expectations now. And not stuck at this point. Not get stuck at this point. And the market is closed. Okay. Hey, the market is connected doesn't mean the market get closed, so the algorithm is turned off. How I am operating, I look at the market, the everything is connected, right? Everything is connected. Even though the market is closed, the bias, the targets, everything will still work. Okay, so this will still be used as a floor. This will not be relevant tomorrow. Okay, this will not, this box specifically, I'll share the coordinates. Okay, how many points, like just for the stream? Okay, 49, 50 points on the stream is not bad, right? With the relative, that's the main point. What was the risk on this? At maximum, 7 point risk. At maximum. If you are not the first time watcher, you understand whenever I draw these lines, that is the risk. That's the total risk I'm talking about. Whenever the price moves below that line, I'm not interested in that case. Okay. So that was the point. 7 point risk, 48 points, not bad, right? So uh, it's, this will not be relevant, but this specific price point will be relevant tomorrow. Yep, this will still be relevant tomorrow. Even okay. So if, what if the price comes to this point in the morning? I'll watch how the price reacts to this point. Then I'll take a trade. This has a lot of relevance. Still, this will still be relevant. This will not be relevant. Okay. We have an inefficient towards the upside. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for your time. See ya. I gotta go. That's okay. Okay, guys. Even if it comes back, it doesn't really matter. My job is done. Thanks.